Crowd. He's not a bad looking guy.
That's under 6 foot. I clip well. I lost like 2 inches with the knee. You know
Yeah,
how it goes.
you did. Dude, my neck, when you crank it over right now, I feel like I'm about 5'10".
Yeah.
My neck is killing me.
You know, the one part about
Yeah,
this week, you know, when we first
Sweet.
sat down, we broke down our players. We're talking about
Yeah,
DBs.
sweet. Thank
I
you.
like them. You know, it's what I played in there.
How's it going?
And here's one here. Like we talked about the
Nice
most
to meet you
handsome
guys.
guys.
Yeah,
We
nice to
were
meet
talking about how the most handsome guy here still remains the same.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
You feel like you are?
Yeah, well, yeah, of course. I feel like I just got more attractive for some reason.
Dude, I'm going to tell you something right now. There's, like, I'm a very heterosexual human being. Come on, bro. I mean, seriously, dude. Like, we've had James Funk and then Jake Funk and then him on here. Bro. Are you kidding me right now? We got a boy band set up right now. Just like, feel like we get in sync out here. Some friggin', I don't know, whatever. New band. I can feel the manager and rip this thing.
Now, Freddie Breeze will hit you though. Now he's not.
Well,
just, that's
what he can be his own. He can be his own bouncer, right? He doesn't need security. He can just handle it. He can get the chicks off of himself. That's how you handle it, right?
I wish it was easy like that.
Yeah.
So last year, good year, fun year. Went all the way. Special experiences. Went to the Rose Bowl. You did okay there, right?
Yeah.
How'd that go for you?
Yeah, it was pretty good. We had a lot of preparation going into that game, obviously. But yeah, you know, it was kind of a dream come true for me because as a kid, I went to some Oregon Rose Bowl games. I went to the 2009 Rose Bowl, went to the 2015 Rose Bowl and watched those games just as a fan. And then, you know, finally being able to, you know, get the opportunity to play in one and then, you know, be able to be the MVP. So that was something that was pretty special to me, my family. I mean, that was definitely something that, you know, I'll never forget.
No doubt. And now here we are with CGS, trying to take the next level and go on up, right? So safety is your spot in college that would normally transfer. You really don't go to safety to cornerback, right?
Yep, right.
Yeah.
So, and, you know, it looks like maybe not the linebacker. So where are we going now? What are you weighing in at this week?
So I'm like right at like the 200 to 205 range right now. But my playing weight, I was usually like 195, but I definitely wanted to put on some more, you know, more weight for the next level, just to be able to, you know, hit some of the guys like Derrick Henry. I mean, he's one of those dudes. He's just a freak, obviously.
Right? It's a tough one.
You know, can't really be 195 trying to take that guy off the hole.
No,
so,
but you know, the nice thing is, not too many people in the next level can really do much at the, you know,
there's some all pros he's tossed. So here we are, right, dude.
Yeah.
You wouldn't be the first one, you won't be the last. So yeah, that's great.
But we go in and, you know, we know how you were playing at Oregon. When you go to the next level, these guys, especially the free safeties, are freak athletes. I mean, just you're running your fastest, you're doing, you know, sprints on, you know, when you're running out, and these guys blow past you like you're standing still sometimes. You know these guys I'm talking about, right? So when we go into that next level, that free safety to strong safety, flex, hybrid position becomes really important to be able to put on both. So coming downhill, you know, what's your thoughts about in the NFL? You're talking about coming down, hitting guys like Derrick Henry and the lessers. So, you know, how do you feel about getting in and getting dirty like that?
I mean, I feel like that's, you know, one of my main strengths is being the guy that's, you know, not really afraid to hit the biggest guy or whatever, because I know I'm not the biggest, strongest guy, but I'm definitely not afraid to hit, you know, a guy that's twice my size, and I'm not afraid to, you know, put my body in the line. But yeah, I mean, I feel like, you know, in my preparation, you know, the past couple of months, I've definitely just been thinking about what I can do for my body to try and be fast, but also be strong and be able to cover guys, but still be able to come down and hit people too. So, yeah.
Yeah.
How about going to Film Night University? How was that?
It's not a bad deal.
No, it's not, right? Got a bunch of free Nike swag on, right?
Got
all the good
got
stuff.
A bunch of good stuff. Feels like Christmas every couple weeks.
Yeah,
so,
it does.
Phil hooks it up pretty good. Great dude too, super humble, really good guy, and, you know, loves his university. So it was definitely blessed to be able to play for a team like that and get some of the stuff that he provides. I'll never forget. I mean, they used to hand out like testing gear. So we get like a pair of cleats that Nike's testing. So we get to see the stuff before it comes out. And then sure enough, the next season, you see that stuff, you're like, hey, like I got to actually kind of, you know, tell them, you know, what I liked about the cleat or whatever. So that was something that, you know, was pretty cool and pretty special about Oregon. It's just like, you know, Nike U, you know, so it's pretty cool.
They have one of the guys I represent, I was an agent for a long time. One of the guys I represent, a guy named Dave Labora, played at Idaho State, but his dad is an alumnus of Oregon, played linebacker there at Oregon. And so he would tell me all about you. He always calls me about players, and we talk about guys and whatever else. And so you're one of the Oregon guys up there. Actually, I represented Nick Reed, okay, linebacker, defensive end, All-American at Oregon. And actually, he was quit his NFL career, former Bear defensive end, Viking defensive end, quit his NFL career to go back into the Air Force. And he actually flew the jet back over the top of the Rose Bowl this year. Yeah. So he played in the Rose Bowl in 9, I think, or maybe
95.
No, he would have been 2009.
Or 2009. I mean,
2009. The last time wherever they were Rose Bowl, he played in it, and then got to now come back and fly the plane over the top. It's kind of a cool story. So I just love Oregon. I've always I'm an Oregon fan. I think a lot of guys are Oregon people. Even if you're just a fan, I think Coach Cristobal coming back there, I think was great. How was that transition for you? Having been there when he came in, was that a good change? Different change?
Yeah, I mean, it was definitely different. I mean, I got recruited by Mark Helfrich, so we kind of had, the Mariota vibes, the Chip Kelly kind of vibes in there too. Most of the people that they recruited were just kind of like smaller, faster guys. So being able to be recruited by them and then get transitioned into the Willie Taggart era, just different types of coaches. I mean, different types of players that they were recruiting to, and then eventually transitioning into Cristobal. So I had, 3 D coordinators, 3 head coaches, just revolving door for different types of changes and stuff. But I mean, it was hard. Sometimes you kind of get buried in the depth chart just because the guys kind of forget about you. A new guy comes in, worried about his recruits, and kind of forgets about you who've, been here, put in the work and stuff. But eventually, all this stuff eventually comes out. You put in the work, you finally start making some plays, then they can't help but, finally notice you. So it was tough, but I mean, I feel like a lot of guys that were in my class, we had to kind of go through the ringer because, we were the freshmen that got recruited by a different coach. And then, all these other coaches come in and, realize like, okay, these guys can actually kind of play. And I mean, Herbert was in my class. We had a bunch of good dudes that were in my class too. And finally being able to like get some playing time was definitely something that we really enjoyed.
That's the negative side of revolving coaches. That's not ultimately what you want. You want to start and end. That can help you. But what can you take from that as a benefit from having these different guys come in that organization?
Oh man, I mean, it's definitely a benefit for some people too, because you get a different scheme or you get a different coach that, one coach didn't like you and this other coach comes in, boom, now all of a sudden you're playing or whatever.
Not so much you, but better.
I'm just saying, just in different positions. I mean, sometimes it works out really well for you. But I mean, I really liked our scheme that we had with Andy Avalos as our D coordinator. He was a dude that just had, legit scheme, legit defense. So, I mean, I loved every minute of it. I mean, we just had kind of a more uptight defense. We were just kind of more physical up front. And I really enjoyed it, obviously. And I feel like it really benefited people like Troy Dye, people on our D line as well.
Yeah, sure.
Benefited our corners, Thomas Graham, Yamado Lenore. Like we had, lots of good dudes, Javon Holland. Being able to come in and just rotate all those guys in. We had a stacked defense, that 2019 year.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. What have you been doing this offseason?
So I've been training down in Phoenix, Arizona at Exos. Yeah, I've been training there, doing position work, doing, lifting and stuff like that. So it's been some good training, some tough training. But it's been really good for me.
Yeah, it's a weird year, and I know that it sucks about the Pac-12 decision, and depending on how you look at it, right?
Yeah.
We'll just look at it like it sucks.
Yeah.
It's a bad decision after everything played out, and then and now here you are, you're coming off a great season, which would this would have been another great one in a sense, right? So now working at XOs is good. Here at the showcase, it's important. It became something that maybe wasn't as important before, but now is very crucial. And so, Thursday there's going to be availability to show scouts individually a lot of drills and flipping of hips and things that they want to see, And so some people there's good tape, and we love positives over players because that's where we go. But we ultimately, want to prepare them for how they're going to be picked apart by scouts and look too. And so what are some of these limitations do you think that might be put on you, or where you could actually step up in the game? Sure, you can lift more weights and you can eat more and you can do all this, but what are some of the things that you're really going to try to show the scouts that are misnomers about you when you get on that field?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, not being able to play this year was something that could have hurt me or could have benefited me. I mean, whether you look at it or not, people can have different opinions about it, but really it's about how I could perform in front of the scouts.
Agent, right?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of people ask me, do you sign with the guy from the Jerry Maguire movie, Bob Sugar? Like, you sign with Bob Sugar that talked you into, leaving and doing all this stuff. So he's telling you all these lies. No, I signed with a great guy. I mean, down to earth guy, really, Christian guy. His name's Zeke Sandu. But yeah, when he kind of sat me down, he's like, hey, what are you thinking about doing? And I was like, well, here's my situation. I kind of told him, how we were practicing. I'll just tell you right now, my whole situation. So, we kind of got a revised schedule in July. We were doing workouts and everything. So we're like, okay, we'll miss 2 games, whatever. We'll still have 10 games, still get to play, full season. Everyone's coming back. And then I think we were a week away from really starting like our fall camp and put on helmets and doing full practice. We were doing a walkthrough. I think it was August 11th. And we finished the walkthrough and our coach brings us up, hey, man, just want to let you guys know, season's canceled. We're not having a season. That revised schedule is not happening. They can't figure it out. So, go home. Like, what do you mean? Like, go home? Like, he wants to go home and think about it and come back to work out tomorrow. It's like, no, like, go home. I'll see you guys in January. Possibly, right before Christmas, we might start up, some workouts or whatever, possible January season. So just go home. And so all of us were like, okay, like, what are we going to do? So people went home. People went on vacation. I mean, people were just going all over the place. And, I went back and was training, but, I wasn't training like I was for a season. Just kind of lifting, staying in shape.
It's wear on your
running.
body,
yeah. And next thing I know, like, I think it was 5 weeks, almost 2 months later, I just had finished the workout, and I remember it to this day. I sit down on the couch, and I started to watch some TV, literally right after I got home, and get a call from Coach. I was like, hey, what's up, Coach? Like, how you doing? He's like, oh, I've been on the phone all day. I'm like, hey, what's up? Like, what happened? He's like, hey, well, the season's on. You got a game in 4 weeks. You got to get here tomorrow. Get back to Eugene tomorrow. So I was like, well, what do you mean? Like, how many games are we playing? What's the deal? Are we going through practices? Like, what's going on? He's like, no, you got a game in 4 weeks. Like, get your butt here tomorrow. You got to start practicing. So I'm like, whoa, let's just think about this thing real quick. How many games are we playing? Oh, we're playing 6. So I'm like, are we really playing 6? Are we going to have, some positive tests? We miss whatever, 3 games or whatever. Now I'm only playing, 3 extra games. And so all these things are just kind of going through my head. And I was like, you know what? I don't know. This is just too much chaos right now. Our game wasn't going to start till November. So I was like, okay. First game in November, not many practices, just a whole lot of chaos. I felt like, just kind of like a sign from God, like, all right, you know what, this just isn't the thing for you. All these people are getting hurt and stuff. I'm not in the right shape, like, to just start a game, like, within a couple weeks. I could have really, like, started training, but it's just different. It's different to really get in game shape, within just a couple weeks. You guys know. So, I called Zeke because Zeke and I had been talking a little bit, but I didn't really talk to any agents because I wasn't really thinking about it. And then I was like, hey, man, like, what do you think I should do? He's like, well, man, I'm not going to sit here and tell you you're going to be the first round or first pick of the draft. He's like, I'm not going to lie to you until you have, all these things. You don't have really that much film, this and that. So we were just kind of going back and forth, deciding all these things. So, most stressful time of my life, that's for sure. But when it came down to it, I was like, you know what? I just got to focus on me. And for the first time in my life, I actually have to be selfish. Because my whole life, everything I do, practice, whatever, film, it's always been about the team. And so that's why before, I made my decision to opt out, I drove down to Eugene. There was a couple players that had stayed there. They hadn't gone home yet. And they hadn't gone on vacation or whatever. So I went and met with them. I was like, hey, guys, what do you think? From your realistic opinion, if you were me, what would you do? And they're like, well, man, your situation is pretty different than ours. But you have some good game film, you have this and that could benefit you to come back, but you test positive. Next thing you know, you're out for 3 weeks and then you're only playing 3 games. So they're like, I don't know, man. It's just crazy. Yeah. And so I just wanted to hear their opinion because I didn't want to let my teammates down. I didn't want to let my coaches down. And they were like, you know what, man, regardless, we understand your decision. We're not going to be mad at you. We understand, what you've sacrificed for this team, not getting enough playing time, whatever, and still fighting through it, still being a team first guy. So they understood, my situation. And so,
yeah, you left some good tape up there and you left some good stat lines and, there's a buzz on there. Yeah, I mean, there was a business decision in there too.
Yeah,
you know.
yeah,
So
definitely.
sometimes you got to be selfish to take care of others later,
Yeah.
right? So sometimes that becomes your teammates, but then you go to the next level, and then it becomes your family, right?
Yep.
And that becomes important too. So I mean, here's your next level, here's your next step, and the next one is going to get paid to play football. So I mean, that's an exciting step.
Yeah.
So you can leave the stress behind and get loose, right? I mean, it's an easy deal. I mean,
I think that's I think this is the sad part about this is that you're not the only one, right?
Yeah.
I mean, COVID. I mean, this is what happened with COVID. I mean, there's a lot of guys that they would have played. They didn't have a choice, right? I mean, the season was taken. all the FCS teams were taken away. They didn't have a chance to play, right? They're going to play in the spring or Division II schools or whatever else. So you made the business decision that you had to make, and right or wrong, good or bad, what you leave it to God, leave it up to the best you can do. Go out and compete. Went Thursday. And if you're getting drafted, you're getting drafted. If you're not, you're not. But at least you can live with that decision, right? I mean, that's what, when it's all said and done, that's what it comes down to is, can you live with the decision that you made? And you seem like you're at peace with it.
Yeah.
And teams are going to question about it. Teams are going to ask you about it.
I think it's already happened, right?
Yeah, right.
Oh yeah.
Right.
So that's always the first question, and I know that's what.
So you roll with
asked.
it, and then but then when it's all said and done, nobody's gonna remember if you go out and ball out and you tear up you tear this up, you tear up your pro day, and people say, okay, we're gonna take a chance on them. Next thing you know,
Yeah.
the first week of the season of 2021, nobody's talking about it anymore, right? Because it's happened to a lot of other guys. So it's just, it comes down to a decision you made, and that's, it's okay, man. And that's, you got to work. You're gonna have to put down a really good day on Thursday. Okay, show people that you're a white safety, dude. I mean, that's when it's all said and done. You got to go, right? I mean, that's just, I say it what it is, right? I mean, you got to go out and be as good an athlete as everybody else. You got to show that you're smart. You can show that you got angles. You can show that you know what you're doing. You're not afraid to hit. You're not afraid to get dirty with it, like we talked about at the opening of this. Yeah. And the rest of it will take care of itself. So
get on that special teams, right?
Do they in the history of Oregon up there? You guys like alumni and stuff? You guys talk about them a lot?
Do we talk about the alumni?
Yeah, is there a big thing? Because Chad, you know the name Chad Kelly, old Oregon safety, came out in 1990. Well, he was drafted by the Carolina Panthers. He was a teammate of mine in the Saints. So it's been 98, 99. He was down there, safety, stud, man, whatever, from Oregon.
Yeah, I don't know.
You remind me. You remind me. No, he wasn't born yet.
I don't know if
he reminds me of him.
You said Chad Cota?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's my uncle.
Is it really?
Yeah. So I totally know who you're talking about. So that's
you guys.
that's one
You
of the
look like
reasons.
him a little bit too, man.
Yeah, that's probably where it came from.
Yeah.
So I mean, kind of talk about my uncle. He's kind of one of the reasons that I fell in love with Oregon because my family went there, my aunts, uncles, everyone's kind of been a part of Oregon. So yeah, it's kind of funny that you were his teammates with them, because he's a guy that I've always looked up to as well. I called him
player, man. Holy cow, is he good?
Yeah, and he wasn't afraid of anybody.
Yeah, he was not. He would smack the friggin' crap out of you.
So
that's
cool,
awesome.
man.
Yeah, I think I get a lot of Craig Stoltz vibes as a guy that can go in, as that casual demeanor, flexes back and forth, has a solid ass career, and just really does something. But we're looking for it. You can any of these.
When he says we're looking for it, so he's the head of the Bears Brawl, and he is a Bears fan. So whenever he says we are looking for something, he's more or less it's Virginia McCaskey, and then Ted Phillips, and then Michael Bress. Okay, so that's kind of how the hierarchy goes with the Bears organization. So just understand.
I'm on a hot seat right now, by the way, if you haven't noticed.
You got to pick it up in the face. You're big, you got to pick it up.
Well, we love our safeties over there, and so we know
Mike Brown is what you need. You need another Mike Brown.
Yeah,
he's the best safety.
He's sitting in front of us. He just
there you
go. He just what are you gonna run? What do you think you're gonna end up running?
Well, I'm not going to speak numbers, publicly, but hopefully I can surprise some people, with my 40.
Just tell me.
Do you feel good? I mean, do you feel like
if you can get that under 5?
I know. I know I need to run a 4 or 5, and I feel confident that I can do that. I mean, we've been running a lot of times recently. We ran a 40 a little bit ago, but I mean, I feel good. I'm confident about my abilities to do the shuttle, 40, L drill, all that stuff. So yeah,
that's good.
Who else is coming out? Who else is besides? Well, you're gonna have a huge pro day because of Sewell, right? I mean, because are they allowing you to go up and do the pro day?
So pro day might not even happen. I mean, we haven't really heard anything about it, but I've heard that they're gonna do little regional combines at Exos. So at Exos in Phoenix, we might have just a little mini combine there.
Okay.
do drills and stuff like that, and that might be the only chance I get to run a 40 because they might not even do pro day. But I mean, I'm doing this thing. I'm doing the Hula Bowl as well, so I'm playing in the game for the Hula Bowl. So I'll do that, and then I'll do the Exos, a little combine thing there.
Right.
So
good luck, man. Have a good day on Thursday. We'll get some video of you, and we'll see you flying around out there.
Yes, sir.
Now, what did you got a helmet, right? They bring a helmet.
Yeah.
What did you get to pick which one you got? Because they have like 75 helmets.
Yeah. We got tons of helmets. But yeah, I chose to wear the Rose Bowl one just because it's shiny. It's got the
it's got
unique
some, it's got some juice for you, right? It's got a little juice for you.
Yeah.
That's a historical helmet.
It's like
there,
Samson and his long hair. That's kind of like a little superpower.
Yeah, there's not a lot of dudes that can walk around and say I was the MVP of the Rose Bowl, right? I mean, it's a select group of dudes, right?
Yeah.
If for nothing else, you got that, right? I mean, just wear that to all the bars you ever go to in Eugene.
Just the helmet.
Just the helmet. Just the helmet. That's it, right? Just take your shirt off, your jersey number on your chest, and walk in.
Repurpose your mask, and you're good.
So this is a great story. It's just, I got to tell you, just because you remind me of this. So Chris Gizzy, linebacker for Air Force, right? Served our country, which was phenomenal. So go through 9/11, everything happens, and Green Bay worked for the Packers, and we were the first national televised game after 9/11, right? So we have the American flag is out there. It looks like the United States. We're out there with the firefighters, first responders, right, man? We're holding the flag, right? Well, they tell Chris Gizzy, to run an Air Force guy, yoked up dude, right? And he's going to carry the American flag out, run down the tunnel and carry the flag. Dude, freaking place is screaming. People are crying. It's just emotional, right?
Wow.
It's just nuts. Sweet picture of it, right? So one of the bars in Green Bay has this, when you walk in, it's a mural on their wall, giant mural of just the stadium and then him running with the American flag, just guns up. I mean, it's a sweet picture.
Yeah, it's just American.
Yeah, it's just pure, just badassery. Just everything you want about America.
Yeah.
So we joke with them, right? So it's now 2013, 2014, it's kind of country's getting back together. Everybody's powered up, right? He walked all the linemen, bust him. Yes, come on, man. You got to do us a favor. He walks in with those little American flags, right? That's his jersey on, runs into the bar.
How big was the flag? Like
just that little one, like the post you put on your curb, right?
Yeah.
Runs through the bar with it, dude.
That's
Place went absolutely crazy. It was one of the coolest things I've ever seen. And just, man, football and God are good, man. This is great. So let's go, man. America, let's get it. That's what we are as the Broad Network, right?
All right,
man. We're about football and faith, and let's get some good life, man.
That's right.
Yeah,
Breeze, Oregon, safety.
So when I show up in Eugene and I see you running through one of those bars up there with your Rose Bowl helmet on, well, you know where you got the idea, brother. You're good.
That's it. Go show your supporters correct, and go show your haters they're incorrect here the next couple of days.
Sir.
All right, give it there.
Thanks, man.
Appreciate you.
Thank you.
Brady, God bless, man.
Yeah, God bless you.
Man.
Thanks, guys.